We're well aware of the deep state and the quest to silence voices like ours, voices like yours. This is not news. There is a bureaucratic class out to repress anyone who might think differently than they do, to censor those who are not with the program of globalism, to censor anyone who wants to put America first. But for America, the call is coming from inside the House to censor more. In a bombshell report, it has been revealed the Department of Defense, instead of worrying about the growing terrorism at home, or instead of worrying about staving off China, they're deploying resources to fight conservatives. They're spending billions of dollars to shut down, censor, smear, and ban ads from conservative websites. OAN has gone up against the DOJ before. Do we also have the DOD to worry about as well? This also comes on the heels of another report showing the State Department giving the Taliban $239 million while our vets here at home struggle. Joining us now is Mike Benz, founder of the Foundation for Freedom Online. Mike, it's great to have you back.
Great to be with you.
How are these funds being used to silence conservatives? What does the process actually look like?
Well, the Pentagon has moved fully into control over media. There's been this big push since the 2016 election where the military class has felt that the populist upswing within the populace, both in the U.S. and all across NATO on the other side of the Atlantic, have led to the rise of political candidates and political movements who challenge the established orthodoxy, the agenda, the menu items, shall we say, of the various countries that the Pentagon seems to desire to gobble up, and they require the funding of the American taxpayer in order to achieve their objectives. The Pentagon gets more money than any other federal department, gets almost $900 billion a year just from taxpayers. And so if people either from the populist right, from the Donald Trump side, or from the populist left, the 2016 style Bernie Sanders side, want to cut military funding for whatever reason, well, that crushes the military and their objectives. And so they've moved into control over the media in order to control elections, in order to secure the military agenda. Now, there's a rich history here of the Pentagon funding domestic censorship groups. It was reported 2 years ago that NewsGuard had a $750,000 Pentagon contract for creating misinformation fingerprints. This new report from the Foundation for Freedom Online shows billions of dollars from all four of the big four advertising agencies getting billions of dollars in federal contracts, the lion's share of which is from the Pentagon. So, for example, Omnicom, which is one of the largest, it has a $4 billion Pentagon contract. Publicis, which is deeply connected to NewsGuard, is affiliated with their seed funding and on their board of directors, also gets something like $1 billion in contracts, also from the HHS. So what you have here is this misinformation censorship being done by the ad agencies, where they've all applied these filters to cut off the billions of dollars in ad flow that they control of all the blue chip companies who go to these agencies to distribute programmatic ad dollars online. And since 2016, in order to control the rise of right-wing populism being fueled by unfiltered alternative news, they've now set up these filters to stop the flow of funds to places like OAN or places like Gateway Pundit or places like Breitbart, or really, frankly, anyone who challenges the State Department or Pentagon or CIA party line. We used to call this Operation Mockingbird when it was done in the 1950s to the 1970s, but now it's done through these basically back-channeled ad agencies. As I mentioned, Publicis is deeply entwined with NewsGuard, and NewsGuard has on its board of advisors General Michael V. Hayden, former head of the CIA, NSA, four-star general, Anders Fogh Rasmussen, the former head of NATO, Tom Ridge, the former head of DHS, Rick Stengel, the former head of the Secretary of the State Department's Global Engagement Center. So this is a who's who of the apex predators of the national security state, controlling news, and not just news, the news economy, the flow of ad dollars.
For all our viewers asking where One America News is heading in the future, we would like to introduce you to OAN Live. OAN Live is the best way to stay up to date on all of the hard-hitting, straight-shooting, national and international headlines. And the best part is, OAN Live is only $4.99 per month. All the credible, honest, unbiased reporting One America News offers at a fraction of the cost of cable. Just go to OANN.com to easily sign up for OAN Live and stay informed.